Well, welcome back. There's a look around Middle Georgia right now. You can see the sun coming through in a few locations better than in others. A lot of those clouds made their way into Dublin over the last, say, half hour or so. But yeah, you can't really complain too much given that temperatures are low 80s and upper 70s. A couple spotty showers starting to emerge now. We still have that little spot in Lawrence County. You also see now in Wheeler as well as Montgomery. But that seems to be it at this point. I guess that dropping it to 20% was the correct move for today. Honestly, may have been a bit of a stretch, except for the fact that you can see the northern third of the region got some sprinkles early on this morning and afternoon. It wasn't anything crazy. Trace amounts, the max that we've really seen up to this point. So again, at least our Friday is not too bad, but we are going to get some more rain chances over the weekend. 81 was our high today, 12 below the average of 93. Most certainly underachieved on our high because the sun didn't really peak out until we started getting to the late afternoon. 70 was our wake up temperature, and now that we've hit that mark, we're probably going to be continuing to see lows in the lower 70s for most of the region going forward. So as you go through the evening, low 80s, even some upper 70s right now. Not too bad if you have any plans for your Friday full moon to go along with that. In fact, it's going to be like full tonight. Not long after midnight is when it will reach its peak fullness. Known for the month of August as the full sturgeon moon, because at this time of year, back in the day, there used to be a lot of the sturgeon fish. Then the humans started to harvest their eggs for caviar, which resulted in the species becoming endangered. 70 degrees was our wake-up temperature last night, or this morning, excuse me. I'm thinking the same for tonight. Wind out of the northeast around 5 miles per hour. You can see that the coolest spot should still crack into the upper 60s, but we're going to be seeing less and less of those as we go through the weekend and into next week. And part of the reason why rain chances are starting to return, of course, throughout this week, we have been talking about this low pressure off the coast and how it could end up becoming a depression. The odds of that now 10%, so probably not going to happen. But notice the associated surface trough that's going to slowly creep northward as we go into the weekend. So I got us up to 60% with our rain chances for tomorrow. Now this will still mainly be an afternoon evening thing, so you can still get some things done in the morning. It's not going to be a washout weekend like last weekend was. The same for Sunday. Afternoon, evening thunderstorms, 70% this time around, and expecting the same for us on Monday as that trough stays in the area. So you'll definitely need that rain gear at least heading into the start of next week. There could be a bit of a pattern shift later on next week that we'll get to in your 7 days. So as you see, decent amount of clouds heading into tonight, but there are a few windows in there to give you a view of that moon. It'll be easier to see it tonight than it will tomorrow night. All right, we got some fog possible heading into the beginning of your Saturday, and after the morning hours, heading to lunchtime, we start to see those first showers and storms fire up, becoming most widespread through the late afternoon and into the evening. A couple of showers could linger into the early parts of our Saturday night. Again, it's not going to be overcast. There could still be a few breaks in the clouds here and there. I've got us down at mostly cloudy for both tomorrow and Sunday, but tonight we'll have less cloud cover than both tomorrow night and Sunday night will. As for Sunday, I think this is being very conservative on our rain chances. You know, this is looking at about 30 to 40%, and I've got us tagged at 70. So it should be more than half the region that sees those scattered storms in the afternoon for both our Saturday and especially our Sunday, and those odds will stay elevated into the start of next week. Here's what your overall planner is looking like. 85 for the high tomorrow, 84 on Sunday, both days mostly cloudy. And as for the tropics, I pointed out that 10% for the low that's been off our coast. As for the one further east, now down to 40%. But even if either one forms into a depression, they are not going to make landfall. Your extended forecast is coming up in 10 seconds. Your 41 NBC AccuWeather 7-day forecast is brought to you by Volume Chevrolet. As we continue through the next few days, rain chances are back up. Again, it's not going to be as bad as it was earlier in the week, but afternoon and evening storms will be pretty widespread. But as we get later into next week, notice the climb in temperatures and the drop in the rain chances. As that low finally gets away from the coast, the wind will shift back to out of the southwest, which is normal for this time of year, and that will result in temperatures being closer to average.